Hello there, happy Wednesday. Tonight we are continuing on the cute little sloth embroidery. We're pretty far on it already. So thanks you guys for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together. I'm here for about an hour and I work on projects from beginning to end so you can be part of the whole process along the way, no matter how long they take. So thanks again, you guys, for being here. This is day 3 or hour 3 really of working on the sloth embroidery. This is our embroidery of the month. This month you can find it at penguinandfish.com in the embroidery of the month section. We only have the downloadable pattern left, but I show you how to do that in the last couple of videos, how to trace the design from the download. So thank you guys again for joining me. I think we're gonna finish this guy tonight. I'd like to think so. So here we are, we just have the little ferny plant to go. We have some little French knots scattered around, and I think I'm gonna try and finish the edge tonight as well. So I'll show you kind of my favorite way of doing that. So thanks for joining me all. All right, so here is the pattern. I have it up on the iPad. So this is what you'd get if you get the downloadable pattern, and you can print this out. It has the stitch guide here. That's the main thing I'm going to be looking at, but it also has instructions. It has the traceable design that you can print out. It has a reverse version as well. So, all right, what I need today is just to have this guy up so I can keep in mind the colors. I guess we really only have 2 colors left. We have the ferns that we're doing, or the bamboo, or the whatever the sloth crawls up on, I don't know. And then we have the cute little blue dots there, the blue French knots. So that is that. We are getting pretty far on this. Oh, and you guys, I got most of the videos that I have been lagging on up on YouTube. So you can watch the replays on YouTube now. I know it's been a moment for sure. So thanks for your patience again, guys. And I realized when I was doing that I never got March's embroidery of the month up either, so those are all up now as well. And you know, I didn't even take photos of those when I was done, so we're getting it done now. All right, so I'm just doing the single chain stitches around here like we were doing last night. I'm thinking I will probably have to get a new piece of thread before it's done. These chain stitches do take up a ton of thread, because just for one stitch you got to go like a whole big loop, and you got like a big stitch on the back, and you have to like go a big distance to stitch the next part. So it does take up some floss, surprisingly a large amount of floss. All right, right here is that fake chain stitch where it's not real. It looks like it's a leaf going behind his arm, but it's really just 2 big long stitches to kind of look like we did a lazy daisy or a single chain stitch behind his arm, but we really didn't. It's just 2 long stitches, kind of like what we did here. There's not really a lazy daisy stitch here. It's 2 little short stitches, and then we did like a little chain stitch here, like an open chain stitch where the beginning and the end aren't in the same place. So it looks like we did a chain stitch, but we didn't. Oh, you can. So Edith, Edith says she started embroidering a while back and quit. She thought that you had to fill the inside of the images. You absolutely, oops, I skipped one. You absolutely do not need to fill the images. you can though. I mean, we could totally take this design and fill it, and actually it would be pretty fun to do, but no, you don't have to. It depends on the look and feel you're going for. You know, this obviously is just an outline, and it's perfectly legitimate if this is how you want to do it. Even if you get a design from a designer that it shows that you can fill the whole entire thing, you can still just trace it. That's totally, it's your choice for sure. But yeah, a lot of times the ones that are completely filled in, I mean, they're fantastic, first of all, but a lot of those are kind of what they consider thread painting. It's just embroidery, but they it's like it's like a long and short stitch, and that's just kind of like a way to fill spaces, and they take ages and ages and ages. So I can understand why you quit. It is intimidating, and they take forever filling up a whole character, a whole design, especially if it's large. But nope, you don't have to do that. It can be as simple or as detailed as you want. That's kind of the fun of it. Like I could do this same design a bunch of different ways. Actually, I think I did a YouTube video. It's a little jarring because it's in like fast motion, so my hoop kind of moves around quite a bit, but I show a simple design that I've done 3 different ways, and one of the ways was to fill in the entire space. Yep, so these can be called lazy daisy stitches. So a lazy daisy stitch is basically, those are when you see the cute little flowers that people do with a bunch of these loops. So a lazy daisy stitch is just basically single chain stitches. Like this is a single chain stitch right there. It's basically several single chain stitches around a center point. So really, that's kind of what these are. We just got 2 of them, not a whole flower's worth. So lazy daisy or single chain stitch, it works both ways, however you want to call it. I think maybe a single chain stitch is probably the more accurate way of saying it, unless you are actually making a flower, but meh, I don't know. Everyone's going to know what you mean either way, I think. All right, so scissors, there you are. I did not have enough green to finish those flowers, but I do have that other strand of 3 here. Oh, Gwen, so the pattern is on penguinandfish.com under the embroidery of the month, and it's a downloadable pattern. So when you purchase it, in your email receipt, there will be a download now button. All right, so I'm just weaving in the ends. Again, it's kind of hard to weave in the ends of a lazy daisy, or single chain stitches, or lazy daisies, whatever. But I'm doing my best here. I think we'll be fine. It's not like this is meant for heavy wear or anything. All right, so I'm just finishing up those couple lazy daisies. So I got 5 more, and then I'm going to come down on the stem, and I'll end up back down there, and then I'll be done with the green. Then really all that's left is the couple of French knots. And, you know, I haven't transferred a design with pencil in a while. This is just normal pencil, and I am really liking it, I do have to say, because it's so thin and nice, like a nice sharp, like mechanical pencil. And the parts that I'm handling a lot, like you can see these French knots here, they're already kind of fading. So I suspect with like, if you're gonna wash something, or even with some time or a lot of like just kind of contact, all your lines will kind of go away too. So I really like, I'm really liking this just plain old pencil, plain pencil way of transferring. Oh yes, so Yeah, like French knot, or are you talking about there's some embroiderers fill the entire space with French knots too, and that can definitely I try, and even though I didn't do it this time, I got 2 French knots there, but I try to keep my French knots to the end because with all the rest of the stitching, like, you know, like a little loop like this, I could be stitching along and then, you know, it could get caught. I'm not going to totally do it, but like it could get just stuck on a French knot, like the eyeball right there, right? Which is annoying. It's so annoying. Like you'll pull your French knot all weird and then you'll got this big crazy loop. So I do try and keep my knots to the end if I can. If it doesn't make sense, like it would have been weird to stitch all of this black and then not stitch the two dots. I'm just avoiding them as best I can. But yeah, they get in the way for sure. So and that's one of the reasons why I'm leaving the blue dots to the end. Yeah, the blue pen is great too. So that's a water soluble marker. It's the fine line marker, water soluble. I think I actually only have 1 more of these left in the shop. So you may want to grab it if you're wanting one of those. I have to place a new order, but orders have been slow coming these days. Oh, you meant on the back? No knots. Yes. So same thing, how it sometimes gets stuck on French knots. If you are starting your thread with a knot versus weaving it in like I did, all the time, like stuff will just get caught on everything back here. And it's so annoying because you could be stitching for like ever, right? And then you turn it around and you're like, oh my God, like 300 stitches ago, I have this big giant loop that got stuck. Oh, that is not fun at all. Yes, Gracie, there is a difference between a colonial knot and a French knot. I can show you. Oops, see, like that. That's annoying. I'll show you the difference. And this might be why it's confusing. Because with a colonial knot, you actually do, you actually do place you do point your needle towards the fabric, whereas with the French knot, you put the needle away from the fabric to start out with. So I don't do as many colonial knots, so I'm always afraid I'm going to forget how to do them on the spot, but I'll give it a try, see if I can remember. But yeah, I'll show you how to do the difference. There is a difference for sure. And, you know, I do actually really like the colonial knot. It's just not as ingrained in me to do as a French knot. So I always kind of go with the French knot. But sometimes with the colonial knot, something that people like about that, and me too, is sometimes you don't get those. Sometimes with the French knot, if you don't get it just perfect, you'll have like kind of a couple big loops. And the colonial knot kind of avoids that to some extent. All right, I'm going to stitch down the line here. Some things I'm going to pay attention to as I do this is I want to cover up the points that meet in the middle there. So kind of like this. So here will be my first stitch. See how that stitch kind of covered up where those came in? I just kind of think that looks really nice. So I'm going to on purpose make sure that I space my stitches in a way where I'm always going to be crossing over those points. I just think it gives it a nice, clean look. It's the same reason why I did the brown second after the black, because like this brown stitch is crossing over that black one. And I think that just looks really nice. The other thing with this stitching down the edge here is we are going to actually cover up this paw or claw and those claws down there, because those are supposed to look like they're behind this frond. Oh, Sylvia, you've never heard of a colonial knot? I had to look it up, I think, a little while back when someone mentioned a Colonial knot. So I had to look it up. But I will show you how to do it. I should really use it more. They're not in any of my patterns, so you won't find... I always have how to do a French knot in my pattern, not a Colonial knot. But whenever there is a French knot, feel free to use one. It's kind of whatever you like. It's cute with his little hand behind there. I get a kick out of that for some reason. It's pretty cute. But yeah, I'll show you how to do both. I can go underneath the claw for sure. That's what we're gonna do for this bottom claw, Dee Dee. I'm just doing kind of what the pattern shows here. So like these two claws, they're kind of the back legs. So those are behind the branch, and then this one is in front of the branch. So that's the effect that will go. So when we get down to this one, I will go underneath the foot there. Very popular in the 80s. Ooh, Colonial knots? Is that what was popular in the 80s? I have no idea. That's interesting. I'm going to have to dig into that a little bit. Oh, Luan, I hope you are staying safe and healthy as well. We are still okay here. I think our state's doing a pretty good job. We do have a bunch of cases, but compared to a lot of the country, I think we're doing a good job at staying in place. But holy cow, you guys, we are grazing 70 degrees here today. I mean, I think we are still below. It was like 68 degrees, but holy cow, was it a different experience. It's been a long time since we've had nice weather like this, and people were everywhere. All right, this is where I'm going to go underneath this foot. So I'm just going to kind of slide my needle underneath that stitch just to give the impression that I'm underneath that foot. There we go. And I'm going to try and do the same thing here. It's a little awkwardish. All right, let's slide under all of this stuff. But yeah, there were people out and about and with no masks and just close to each other, and the golf course was super crazy busy. I don't know. It was just kind of, I don't know. I would have thought I would have seen a few more face masks. And it's not, I mean, I think people are thinking, oh, we're outside and we're on a trail and all that. But you're still ending up pretty dang close to people. It's a skinny little trail, so I don't know. We walked a little bit in our neighborhood, and we did not wear masks either, even though we thought we should. But whenever we saw a zombie, we turned the other way. So we were watching for running zombies and biking zombies, so they wouldn't get us either. All right, last stitch with this. Ugh, North Jersey is not good. It's still doubling. Yeah, we're surprised. I mean, like, we're not great. I mean, we're nothing like everywhere else. We have, but as far as the amount of cases we could have for the amount of people, it is being, well, I don't know, in theory, I guess, held down a little bit. But I don't know, all these people out and about now is freaking me out a little bit. We are still staying pretty far away from people, and we'll probably stay like that for a while. Yeah, I'm still wanting to make more masks. Oop, I just flung my needle. So maybe this weekend I'll get to that. Okay. Cute. So there we go. Now his back paws, his two back legs are behind the plant, and oh, this one's kind of grappling that little leaf a little bit. It's kind of silly. All right, last up, we are getting there, you guys. Ooh, we might actually get a prep the next embroidery. I thought, we have 2 more days of this, 2 more days of the embroidery week here. I thought we could start our little tiger embroidery as well. So we have a double embroidery of the month this month, basically, which I haven't done before, but I've been watching Tiger King, or I did watch Tiger King, and needed to get a tiger, get a tiger going. So I released that as well this month. I think I have a couple more bundles left of that as well, with all the supplies in it. But yeah, so I think I will. Ooh, I got a little knot here. Boo. That rarely happens when I separate the thread like that. That just means it got caught on something along the way. Let's try that again. There we go. But yeah, so I thought we could get at least a little start on there. I don't think we'll finish that tiger, but it'll be a good fun little thing to start. Maybe I'll try and pull up the pattern yet tonight and see what we got. All right, there are my 3 strands. Let's get those together. All right, let's do a French knot and then a colonial knot, and let's just trade off. This is all pending I can remember how to do a colonial knot. I'm always freaked out that I'll forget how to do it. Ooh, a tiger print pillow, that'd be so funny. I don't know, tiger prints and cheetah prints and all that are supposed to be pretty hot this year, I think. All right, the first one's kind of right there. Let's see, there's only 5 of these little guys, so this will go pretty quick. I do want to finish this off. I want to finish this edge tonight, so we'll do that. I don't have a little green ribbon. I know a little green ribbon came with the bundle for this, but mine ran off somewhere, so I won't put a little bow on it. But you could do a little bow with excess thread. Maybe I'll do that instead. All right, so we have a dot here. I'll just draw them again. They're kind of fading a little bit, like I was saying, which is actually kind of really nice. So we got there, and then these 3 there. So, all right, French knot. So French knot, I always start on one side of the dot. And we come up. I find it's always a little bit easier to set it on a flat surface while doing this. All right, and then I'm gonna hold my thread about, an inch or 2 away from the surface here. And now here's the difference, or one of the differences, but here's the main difference. So a French knot, I am pointing my needle away from this entry point here. So away, and I'm gonna wrap around the needle away from where it enters the fabric there. Okay, so then I'm gonna hold the threads with my finger, and then I'm gonna point it back towards, so I was away first, now towards, and I'm gonna put the needle in a couple threads away from my first spot there. All right, I put the needle in about halfway, and then I pull the thread so that those loops get close against the needle and against the base of the fabric there. And now I'm just going to put my thumb there to hold those loops in place. You don't want to get those loops kind of flying all over the place. Then you'll get those kind of extra, like, messy looking loops. So I'm just going to pull slowly. There we go. That is the French knot. You can kind of see the 2 little loops that make it up right here a little bit. All right, so now the colonial knot. Okay, same thing. I'm going to come up on one side of the dot. Now here is the big difference. Let's see if I can remember how to do this now. Oh man, I hope I can. Let's see. All right, so you point it towards the needle, and then you're making like an S motion. Let's see if I can remember how to do that. So I'm pointing towards. So French knot, I was pointed away. Colonial knot, you point towards. And then you kind of go on one side. So I'm on the left side, and I'm going to just go from left to right like that and grab the needle. And then I think, gosh, this is the part I can't remember. I think you go around the top. Does that make sense? Is that how it's done? I'm not quite sure. This is the one that I don't do as often, and I kind of can't remember. I know that there's like an S sort of motion. I think you go like this. I think you do go through like that. So, all right, let's try that again. So pointing towards, let's see if this works. I go push it to the side and then wrap around this back thread. So we got kind of like a loop on the needle now. I'm going to hold that. It's a little different looking than the other one, right? So this is kind of like a figure 8 sort of loop instead of just 2 little wraps. So I'm going to hold that. And now I'm going to go on the other side of that dot. I just want those couple of threads there. And then the rest is the same. I'm going to go about halfway. And then I'm going to pull this towards the base of the fabric and the needle. And then I'm going to pull through. And I'm still holding that knot there. All right, I think that looks right. Right? I think that's right. So they're very, very similar, obviously. I think with the Colonial knot, you get a little bit more of a tight knot look. If you look really closely at this French knot, so this is the French knot, sometimes these 2 little loops can separate and loosen a little bit, and you can see the loops. So actually the Colonial knot, because of its structure, it kind of holds all that a little bit better. There's no kind of loose knots. So it actually is pretty nice. I'm surprised it's not used more. But yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it was the 80s thing to do and it's not the trend anymore. I don't know. So let's try that again. So with the Colonial knot, you point towards. You go from the left side to the right, get that kind of push out of the way, and then you wrap it around the back thread. Then you get that little figure 8 there. And it's kind of like a half hitch knot almost when it's on your needle there. That looks familiar. All right. There we are. So there's another Colonial knot. So again, with the French knot, this is the French knot now. We're pointed away from the fabric. So we were going here with the Colonial knot. Now we're pointed away. We do those 2 little wraps, and then we go back in. So it has a different look. It's not that figure 8. It's just those 2 loops around. Oh, you think the French knot looks more like a flower with a center? Oh, that's a cute way of thinking about that. I like that. There we go. So there. It's almost like a loop holding down 2 larger loops. That's kind of what I like thinking about it. And yeah, sometimes you can get it so it does look like a little circle and it's held down versus the Colonial knot, which is definitely looking a little bit more knotted. But really, I mean, can you really tell from far away, All right, I'm going to do the last one as a Colonial knot just because I don't do those as often and I think they're kind of fun. So pointing towards, pushing it away, and then wrapping it around this piece right here in my hand. There you get that figure 8 look. Definitely much easier to set it on a surface while you're doing these. All right. That is all she wrote, you guys. So he is done. Let's weave in that end, and then we'll finish it off. Yay. I like these little shorty projects. I definitely like, this is a tactic. So if you are working on a super big, large project, which is like most of our other projects, right? Like these big quilts, it is so refreshing and nice, I think, to fit like these small little pieces in the middle. You get a quick win then, which is nice. All right, so I'm gonna, I think we're actually pretty centered in here. If I didn't like where this was placed, I would just undo my embroidery hoop and kind of re-center it. I'm just gonna kind of, yank on it a little bit till it's just exactly how I want it. You know, when you pull on it, it changes the shape of the character a little bit. But I don't know, that looks pretty centered. I don't think I need to do anything. So I'm going to tighten this up real nice. And, oh, it's basically outlining and filling a shape. Oh, you think, colonial knots. I'm going to have to read that in a little bit. I missed it. It went by too quick. All right, I want to finish this up. So this is a cute way and an easy way, I think, to finish up a design. So what I'm going to do first is this is the scary part. I'm getting my scissors out and I'm going to cut a circle around here. So I'm going to cut, so about the distance that this is, it's about, I don't know, maybe an inch, 3/4 of an inch to an inch. I'm just going to use that as my guide, and I'm going to go around in a circle. I'm going to just follow the hoop and do the rest all the way around. So you can glue this fabric to the back. I'm going to do it in a way where I just stitch it to the back. I think it's just kind of nice. It's a fun way of doing it. And you can use up some extra thread that you have. It does not have to be perfect. This is still going to be the back, so you're not going to really be looking at it. I do kind of find it satisfying to be able to see the stitches still when you're done. So I do like an open back. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some of my leftover floss, and I have this blue right here. I'm going to need enough floss that's like the circumference of this circle plus, you know, a good 4 or 5 inches on either side. So let's see what we got going on here. It's a little tight, but I have it here, so I'm going to give it a try. You don't need to use all 3 threads, but again, I have it right here. I might as well just do it. So I'm going to just thread my needle here. Usually I just do it with like 2 strands, so it's a little thinner. All right, I'm going to find the top, and I'm going to fold this down a little bit. And then right near the edge, like maybe like an 1/8 inch away or a 1/4 inch away from the edge, I'm going to start from this side, and I'm going to just do a running stitch all the way around the edge. So a running stitch is just when you go in and out and in and out in a line. When you can't go any further, then just pull it through. But we're going to leave like a pretty good end here. So I'm just going to let that lay. And I'm going to just keep going around this edge. And again, if the curve gets too weird or my needle gets too full of stitches, like right now, I'm just going to pull the thread through. And it's okay if it starts bunching up like that. That's fine. So we're just going to take our time and get all the way around. It's a little extra step, but I think this is a nice way of finishing a design, especially if you don't want to glue the edge down. Oops, I lost my thread there. Let's thread my needle again. All right. So I am trying to stay towards the edge. I don't want to get too close to the hoop. And the stitches don't have to be perfect either. Ugh, I should have maybe gotten a little bit more floss like I thought, but I'm like, it's probably going to be enough. I think we'll have just enough. It's just going to get close to the needle, I think. You like this method? Oh, that's a good point, Christy. Christy says, I like this method in case I want to put the embroidery onto something in a couple of years. Yeah, glue is too permanent. Yeah, that's true. So in this method, you can always take it out again. I mean, it will it will have been cut down in this circle, but in theory, you probably could draw a circle on and just stitch on the circle and then still have like the big flaps of like the corners that we used to have on here. You probably could do that yet. And then you'd still have the square. But I do like that too. I like the idea of like, oh, if it needs to come out of the hoop for some reason, we can do that with this method. But what this method does is it hides these raw edges on the back. And it's just really dang cute. And I'll show you in a sec. Ooh, I really should have maybe cut a longer piece of thread. Err on the side of a little bit longer than you need, for sure. We're almost around though. So I'm actually starting to pull on it, and you can see all of it's coming towards the center here. So we get this like cute little bunched up area. Ugh, it's just, I think it's just really sweet looking. Normally I wait till the end to pull it like that, but I need some length on this floss to get me to the end. Getting there. Ooh, stitches are getting a bit big here. Yes, the bloomer legs. Exactly. All right, so I am going to make my last stitch, try and come up pretty near this first stitch. So coming out right near that first stitch. All right, and then I'm going to actually take it off the needle. So I just have these ends. Oh, look, and they ended up about the same length. So the one that started on the left here, I'm going to put that towards the right, and the one that I just ended up with, I'm going to move to the left. And now I'm just going to pull on both of them, and that will cinch up this whole thing. And look how cute that is. It's just so sweet that way. All right, and then I'm just going to tie it into a knot, and I'll probably actually put a little bow on there too. I'm going to actually tie another little knot to hold that in place. And I always like tying a little bow. Let's make it a little smaller. All right. Trim it up. And there we go. We got our cute little back. And then from the front, what's that? From the front, we got our nice little finished looking thing. And actually, you can actually take, this is kind of crazy, but you can actually take the embroidery hoop all the way off at this point because it's hidden. So, I mean, you could just leave it like this, kind of like a little puck almost. I don't know what you do with it like this, but it's just neat that it's being held in place by the little ribbon there, or by the little tie. I'm going to put it back on just because I think it's cute within the hoop. There we go. And you could put a little bow here. Let's see. Oh, I got a pile of this green left. Why don't we do like a fun bow with some of this green? I know I don't have my green ribbon near me. The bundle came with some cute, really shiny green ribbon. I'm just gonna kind of double this up a few times. And let's just tie a cutie little bow. That's kind of fun. I just even left the like stringy bows. We just got like a crazy loop-de-loop bow here going. I think that's kind of fun. Let's maybe adjust it a hair. There we go. A little wacky, but it's kind of fun. Oh, you added your initial. Oh, that's a cute idea. There we go. So our little slothy sloth is done. That's awesome. All right, you guys, I think I am going to at least set up our little lion or our little tiger embroidery tonight. So, all right, what do I got here? All right, so the bundle, I have a couple bundles left. So there's one bundle, if you want bundle number 2, it comes with the PDF pattern, and that's like the pattern like this. I will look up the tiger one quick here. But it also comes with the stick and stitch. That is this little kind of stabilizer here. I'll show you how that works. And then okay, so here's and then it also comes with the floss. So this and the digital pattern is in bundle 2 on the website, and in bundle 1 on the website, I think I have maybe 3 more of these bundles. You get these plus the pattern, and then you also get fabric with a needle, and then you get the little "You Rah Awesome" pin. So that's a little cute little lion pin there. All right, so here is the lion, or not the lion, it's the tiger pattern. So here we are, I pulled it up. That's the finished look. And I'm gonna just scroll ahead to the actual design again so I can see. So anything that's gray is actually white thread. I do have the DMC equivalents on here as well. So, all right, let's work on this. I'm wondering where to start, really. I'm kind of thinking I want to do all this bright orange here. So I think I'm going to start with this chain stitch. This is the only area on this that has a chain stitch. His chin is just like extra thick chin there with the orange. So let's start there. And you know what? I think I'm going to do that reverse chain stitch that I know we're all kind of liking here. All right. And I need a hoop. Got one here. Hold on a sec. Let's get situated. Okay. So we don't have tons of time to work on this, but we'll work on it a little. I'm going to use this needle that came with it here. All right, let's get our floss out. Such fun colors here too. These little biscuits. All right. I should probably press this fabric a bit too. Let's just heat up the iron quickly. Move some stuff out of the way. So the nice thing about this stick and stitch. So you'll get with the bundle, the pattern is available by itself as well, like the Sloth. But with the bundle, you'll get a piece of stick and stitch that's pre-printed with the tiger on. And the stick and stitch is great. I'm going to use that this time. You know, the Sloth I traced with pencil. This one I'm going to use the stick and stitch. And this is what it is. It's a sticker that you can stitch through, and then it comes off with water. It's kind of amazing. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just kind of trim around it. We don't need quite so much extra. I do like leaving a little bit, so there's some, stuff, some border to stick on, but I don't need like all of this excess, all these corners and stuff. So I'm just going to kind of trim it up. It'll fit better in the hoop too, I think. There. So just like that. And I'm going to just press my fabric flat. So this is that unbleached fabric, which is kind of nice. Do we have to iron the fabric? Oh, no, absolutely not. Gretchen's asking, do we have to iron the fabric for adhesive's sake? Nope, not at all. You don't have to iron it at all. I just happen to have this big old crease in the center here, so I thought I'd get that a little bit before getting started. All right, I think that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to put it in the hoop first. Oh, did someone ask, Amy, did you ask if it was like the Fabri-Salvi? It is the exact same product as Sulky's Fabri-Salvi. They just renamed it to Stick and Stitch. I think they were trying to appeal more to stitchers like us. I think they realized that hand embroiderers were using it. Christy, I am using a Panasonic cordless iron. Here, I think I have a link to it, but here's the, you can do Panasonic, I think it's NI-WL600. If you Google Panasonic 360, it doesn't stand up on itself. It's got points on both sides. So the Panasonic 360 cordless, and the cordless is the magic of this iron. It is my most favorite thing. It does have a base over here, so the base is plugged in. But since you can't set it up on its front, it kind of forces you to stick it back in the base where it charges up again. And it's as hot as a normal iron. It stays hot for a pretty long time after taking it off of the base, a couple minutes for sure. And then you just throw it back on the base. But to not have that cord around, holy cow, you'll be just like, hallelujah when you have it. That's what it's like. It's like, why hasn't this been the way it's done already? And, it is kind of like one of those old cast iron ones that you have to set on top of your stove, your fire stove, to heat it up. It's kind of like that in a sense, where you're just having to heat it up again on its base. But holy cow, that cord is so silly. That's the dumbest thing ever. So without it, it's just so good. Amy says it's your new fave, that iron. It really is. Like, I've talked about it before, like my top 5 things in this sewing world that are my favorite things, and dang, that iron, I would be pretty sad to see that go. I am using just I'm using a unbleached muslin fabric. So I like using muslin versus quilting weight fabric because its weave is a little bit looser. Quilting weight fabric is pretty tightly woven. So, which is fine. It's beautiful. You can embroider on it just fine. But sometimes it's a little difficult on quilting weight fabric to pull your needle through, and it's because it is so tightly woven. So I like using just a muslin. This happens to be an unbleached muslin. I'm planning on getting some of this up in the shop, but I don't have it up quite yet. Oh, Shirley, you love your cordless iron. Oh, it's like the best thing ever. Gretchen says it never leaks. I have not actually put water in mine yet. I've sprayed water and used it before, but I haven't put it in. So here's that stick and stitch. Again, this comes with the bundle. It's sticky on one side, and I'm just pulling off the paper backing. That's just garbage. All right, and then you kind of got this like weird sort of sticky fabric thing going. I'm going to just place that in the middle here, and it will stick to our embroidery, and it will come off in water later. And I've done a few videos of that. I don't think we'll get this done in the next 2 days, so I don't think I'll be able to take it off, but maybe I'll spend a weekend on this or something. That would be kind of fun. All right, I wanted to do this little chin. His little chin is chain stitch, so I'm gonna just grab a pile of this orange. So I'm getting about, I usually get about 18 inches, but I got about 24 inches or so here. I don't want too long of a piece because then it wears the thread away a little bit faster because it's just friction through the fabric. But it also, I don't want to hold my arm way far back to stitch. All right, let's get our 3 strands out again. So I'm just kind of isolating just one strand from there and pulling, boop. Oh yeah, they always have to have the sound effects for sure. Down at a ending sound effect. Zoop. All right, that's the normal. That's the normal sound effect for pulling floss out. Zoop. All right. There's our 3 strands. So we're almost out of time tonight. I just thought we could get this started, and then we will work on it more tomorrow. All right, thread the needle. Okay, so I'm gonna do this in a reverse chain stitch. But first of all, I'm gonna tie a knot at the end. I know you saw that I don't use knots at all on this, but I do start with the knot, but I go from the front of the fabric to the back, and I start kind of far away from where I'm starting to stitch. So I'm gonna go right there, front to the back, and then I'm gonna start stitching right here. And what I'm doing is getting a long piece right there. So later I will trim that and weave it in. I don't, Beatrice, typically wax my floss. I don't think I've ever waxed floss before for embroidery like this. I have done it for like small stitching, like for like English paper piecing, just when the thread gets all curly and stuff. I have done that. Okay, so here's how you start the reverse chain stitch. You actually start with your anchoring stitch. So on this guy, remember how we with every loop, you anchor it down with a tiny little stitch? We're actually starting with that stitch. And so it's a little bit of an odd way to start, but I'm gonna make just a tiny little stitch right there. And before I go all the way through, I'm going to just kind of leave that loop there. And I'm going to start the next stitch about 1/8 inch, a little bit more than an 1/8 inch away, however big you want to make your chain stitches. All right, and then I'm going to pull just slowly. And before it gets all the way down, I want to go through that loop. And then I'm going to just pull that loop tight. There we go. So there's our little anchoring stitch. Then I'm going to pull through there. So I got like half of the stitch there. It's going through that anchor stitch. And then I'm going to go right back in the same hole that it just came out of here. And there is our first little chain stitch. So why this reverse chain stitch is so nice is you don't have to worry about making a big loop and coming up in the middle of that loop. This is the easy part. So I'm going to start the next stitch. Now I just swoop underneath this stitch, just swoop underneath, pull through, and back down through that same hole. It is so easy. Your thread doesn't get all tangled and everywhere. It is just an easy, fun way to do a chain stitch. I really, really do enjoy it. Again, it's not really second nature to me because I've been stitching for years with a normal chain stitch where we actually start from the other end. You know, we start from this side and then anchor it down at the end. But doing it like at the end of the row first and then like with that anchoring stitch and then doing it this way, it really is a lot easier. And most likely a lot faster too because it's easier. Yes, exactly, Beatrice. I love this. I always get jumbled up when doing it the traditional way. Likewise, for sure. All right, I only have 2 left, really. I'm kind of doing kind of big stitches, but I think they're kind of fun. So I'm stitching right through that stick and stitch stabilizer here. This will come out in water later. All right, last one, swoop it through. Oh, Barbara, I like this is the best way for sure. And there we go. That is all there is to that. We got ourselves a chin. Oh my gosh, it's already cute with a little chin there. All right, that was easy peasy. We have a few moments left, so I'm just looking at the design here. This entire kind of bottom row is all the orange. I think we're just gonna do a back stitch for them. I could do, you know, here's what I could do. I could do just really big long stitches, but some of these kind of have like a little arc going through them. I think I'm gonna, oh gosh, should I do big long stitches? I kind of don't like big long stitches. I'm gonna do these in like 2 stitches. Although maybe long stitches would look a little bit more furry. I don't know. I've committed now. We're gonna do 2 little stitches. That's fine. Then I can get that little back stitch look. I like that little beady back stitch look. Oh, long stitches with couching. Oh, that would be interesting, Christy. So couching is when you do a really long stitch, but then you do other smaller stitches on top of it to hold that long stitch down. I think we'll just do this, but that's fancy. We should do like a little couching video. That would be kind of fun. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick to 2. These are a little bit longer. I could probably do 3 stitches in some of these longer ones, but you know what? I think let's just have a general rule that I'm going to do these in 2 stitches until it gets kind of short. Up here, I'll probably just do the one stitch, but these extra long ones, I'll do 2. Ooh, this is a nice bright color orange too. Ugh, that chain stitch chin just makes me happy. So I might, this one, I haven't quite decided yet, but this one the tiger might go a little bit longer than the end of the month. The sloth is going to be done at the end of April, so he will be going away. And the new May embroidery of the month will be coming out. But the tiger, I might just leave in there a little longer just because I didn't release him till kind of the mid-month, so he hasn't been in there quite a month yet. But it's not going to be there forever either. Oh, he's looking so cute. You know what? Let's just go till I'm done with this thread. It seems to be going out pretty quick, and we'll call it a night. And you know what? I think with 2 more days, we might get pretty dang close to done on this guy anyway. So Thursday and Friday, we will work on this guy. So it's kind of fun. Might get 2 little embroideries done here in a week. Yep, I like these kind of 2 big stitches. This is a fun way to do it, I think. So we got like some white. So he's got white and black and orange stripes going on here. So that's going to be kind of neat. A little furry face. Yeah, this is going super quick. Quarantine tiger. Yep, that's him. Oh yeah, quarantine. Nora says have it be a quarantine tiger. Keep him available until Minneapolis can get outside again. Well, like I said, if you're like these people today, there was a ton of people outside. It was surprising, actually, really. I am surprised that, you know, at least there weren't more people with masks. I mean, yeah, they're thinking, oh, we're going outside. Oh, Patty, you got yours today. Yay! That's awesome. I saw it come in. It will go out right away tomorrow morning. Uh-oh. I might have overestimated how much thread I have left. I want to do these 2 stitches, but I'm getting pretty close to the end. Ugh, he looks awesome already. Okay, I'm loving this orange down here. All right, let's weave in the end. Oh, that's kind of fun on the back too. Ooh, it's gonna be a little tough to weave in. The less stitches you have, it's a little bit more difficult. Oh, and we forgot well, we didn't forget, we just didn't get to it yet. We have that thread there too. Let's trim that and weave that in as well. All right, so this is that knot that we did at the beginning. I'm gonna trim that off now. All right, and that's going to loosen up this whole thread, and we're gonna weave that in as well. So that's how I start an embroidery, so that I don't have any knots in there. Because like we've been talking about, I don't like having knots on the back. I don't like the opportunity for other stitches to get caught on those knots. You're inherently gonna have a cleaner, nicer back when you don't have knots to catch on. And it's not even that the back is nicer, it's just in the process you won't have that moment of like, oh my god, I wasted all that thread because it got caught on that stupid knot. That will go away. All right, let's snip that. All right, there we are. So we got this feller done. I don't think they'd quite be friends, but they're both awfully happy. All right, and we got the little start on there, that chain stitch, reverse chain stitch there. That's just looking super dang cute. All right, so there's more orange, these last little stitches here, then the whole outline up here is orange, so I think we'll do that, and I think a lot of his face here is orange as well. So we will continue the orange tomorrow, and then I think a lot of the rest of the face is black. I don't know, maybe we'll hit some more stripes there. We will see. Okay, guys, I'm gonna flip you around, and we'll call it an evening here. All right. Ooh, got a little stuck there. There we go. All right. So thank you guys again for joining me here tonight. So the sloth pattern, again, it's our official embroidery of the month. That will be up in the shop till end of April. So that's just available as a pattern now. All of our bundles sold out pretty quick for this guy. And then we have our tiger, and that's in the same spot on the embroidery of the month page. I think we're gonna get farther than I thought on this, which will be awesome. I don't know if we'll get all the way to taking the stick and stitch off, but we're gonna get pretty good on this one. But that's up there, and this one does have bundles left, so that has the 2 different bundles. So check those out. Thanks again, everyone. I will get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies right away tonight. I know I've been horribly behind on that, and I'm getting back on it. We should be pretty much up to date now. I know I missed a few, but I'm hoping to get a few more up, and then this will go up tonight, so you should have it in about an hour if you want to watch the replay there. So thank you again, guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.